What's up, YouTube universe? I'm Dash, and I know what some of you have been asking. How do you download maps for Omsi 2? How come sometimes when I download a map, does only the sky show up as soon as I start it up? Or how come sometimes when I download a map, it does not show up in the map menu? Well, this video should answer all of your questions. But before we get into it, please make sure to remember to like this video, subscribe to the Dash Official as we'll be uploading more videos more often, and remember to ring that bell so that you get notifications every time we do. Also, we have a Discord server, so feel free to join and communicate with our community. So first things first, before you even get into any type of map installation, you must first find a map to download. For the sake of this tutorial, we'll be using the Saratoga map, which was made for Omsi 2 and is available on a virtual transit center website at vtransitcenter.com. The link to that map and all these files will be available in the description for you in case you want to find it for yourself. Make sure you click the download button in order to get to the files for the map. Most maps require additional downloads, so please be sure to check the web page and any additional documentation for more information on what else you need to download. Now that we have our map downloaded, let us go ahead and open that archive. The best bet will be to download 7-zip, which will allow you to open any type of archive ending with 7Z, RAR, and the ZIP extensions. There will be a link to this program in the description. Now that we have our archive open, let us go over to our Omsi 2 folder. In order to get to this folder, you want to open up Steam, click on the Library tab, right-click on Omsi 2 in your library, select Manage, and then Browse Local Files. Now you should have your Omsi 2 folder open. Now that we have our Omsi 2 folder open, let us look at the file structure, as we'll need to look at some key folders in order to know how to install these maps for the future. The folders that we need to look at is Fonts, Humans, Maps, Money, Scenery Objects, Spleens, Ticket Packs, Trains, and Vehicles. The reason that we need to look at these folders is because all maps usually affect these folders. You will always have to put a map in the Maps folder. Most maps require additional ticket packs in order to function, and most maps require specific depot files that go into the Vehicles folders for each individual vehicle that will be used in the map. At the top of this, we have the Fonts folder. Now you see, any object that has fonts will require these fonts to be moved into the specific folder. This usually applies to buses, their destination signs and fleet numbers, but also some objects from maps such as highway signs and route helper arrows will also require these additional fonts to be installed. The Scenery Object and Spleens folders are usually the most important for any map installation. All maps need to exist within this Maps folder. Likewise, all Scenery Objects and Spleens must also exist within their respective folders, or the maps will not be able to function properly. So now let's go back to our installation file. You can see in this archive that we already have the Fonts, Scenery Objects, Spleens, Vehicles, and Maps folder. As I've mentioned before, these folders are very important to the Omsi installation. You'll also notice that in the case of this particular installation file, the folders also match the ones that are in the Omsi 2 folder. Since these match up, that usually means that the developer has made it so that this is a simple drag and drop install. So what you want to do is simply copy and paste these files over to the Omsi root folder. As I've said, I prefer the classic drag and drop method. But what if these names don't match? What if instead of this similar file structure, you just see a folder with the map's name on it? Well, firstly, we want to open up that folder. Let's just make sure the Omsi root folder does not exist within it. If not, we can assume that this folder itself is actually the map folder. If you see the following folders, TT Data, Texture, and Map, along with a list of files, this is more than likely the Maps folder itself. What you want to do for these kind of installations is simply take the Map folder and drag it into the Maps folder. That sounded confusing, didn't it? I'll say it slower. You want to take this folder and simply drag it into the folder that has the name maps, which means this folder should exist as a subfolder within the maps folder. Once you've copied all the files over into your Omsi 2, you want to make sure that you have all the additional required files for the map. As stated before, some maps do require additional dependencies and add-ons in order to function. So for that, you'll either need to refer to the included documentation, which usually is in the archive listed as readme.txt, or check the webpage from which you downloaded the mod. In the case of Saratoga, you can see that I have to also download 3 additional packages. You must also download and properly install all the packages required for this map. However, if you do not, you encounter the risk of having a blue sky error. Make sure you drag and drop the files the same way you would with the main package. Make sure the folder names line up. Some object packs simply have the object folders instead of being prepared to be dragged and dropped in the Omsi root folder. You might see a folder that when you open it up, you'll see a whole bunch of files with the extension .scl or .sli. If the file doesn't include a readme.txt file or something similar, it's safe to assume that in this case, you could just drag those object packs into the respective folders. Usually, an object pack that has the word object in its name goes into the scenery objects folder, and usually an object pack that has the word spleen in its name gets dragged into the spleens folder. However, please make sure that you do in fact check these folders first before dragging and dropping them. Now here comes the fun part, loading up your map. Let's go open up Omsi 2 right now. Double click on that play button, or if you have a link on your desktop, double click on that. Please note that this will never happen instantly. Every time you open up Omsi 2, it will take at least a few minutes before it actually starts. Now that we have Omsi 2 open, let's do our first time run of our new map. First, we click on Load Map Without Buses. Now click on that drop-down menu and select the name of your map. At the bottom of the screen, you should see a Start button. Let's click on that. After a few seconds, the game will ask you for your start location. You can select any location that feels good to you. When the game finally loads, you should have your map open. Good job. Have fun driving. But if you got to this point and instead you just see a blue sky and nothing else, chances are you missed a few steps or forgot to download one of the important dependency files. Please make sure to double check everything and make sure there's no errors. If you triple checked, quadruple checked, and you still see that you have missed nothing and you still encounter this blue sky error, feel free to check out our Discord server, where we specialize in assisting with such problems. You can download the Blue Sky tool to investigate the missing files yourself. Copy this list and paste it into our Discord server in the Omsi support section. Perhaps you'll get further assistance there. I hope you enjoyed. Anyways, what would you guys want to see tutorials on next? Let us know in the comments. For now, thanks for watching. I'm glad to have helped you, and peace out. More videos will be coming more often on this channel.